Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. Are you hearing me, students? Please reply, Arya. Voice is low. It's okay. Check your net connection, please. And other people, please tell me, Nida, Minhal, what about my voice? Low or normal? Please tell me, Arya. Because Nawal is saying that my voice is very much low here and she cannot listen me properly. Reply please so that I can understand. I have to increase my voice or there is a net issue. Okay, Minal, very nice of you. Nawal, please check for a moment. After that, you will check your net connection as well. Now you know that we are doing your revision classes. We are taking your revisions during online classes. We have done revision of different important topics which will be included in your final examinations, board examinations, and I hope you are doing a lot of practice in your home as well. I have given you some assignments according to your final exam syllabus. So I hope you have completed them also. These assignments are given for your practice. And one more thing which I want to inform you that from tomorrow your school will reopen and you will have to come to school daily. Schedule will be given to you because from tomorrow onwards your chemistry practicals will be taken here and these must be completed within this week. So you should come on time and regular basis, whatever schedule will be given to you. So you should be very careful. And this is the last class or online class till now. After that, we will decide what to do after your chemistry practicals. Okay, Nida? Please check your internet connection because some of you are saying that my voice is clear and some are saying that my voice is not clear. Nawal, Prelim 2 has not been decided yet. If it will start, I think after this week, because in this week your chemistry practicals will be completed, and if it will be decided that Prelim 2 will be started soon, then you will get the information from your WhatsApp or from Google Classroom as well. Okay, so you should have your practice, complete practice, perfect practice, and perfect learning of the whole syllabus for Prelim 2. Yes, Nida, we are not confirmed about Prelim 2. When it will be decided, then we will inform you. Okay, now we come to our topic. And please concentrate on the topic. And if you want to ask anything, I will give you time at the end of the lecture. So ask me at that time. First of all, I want to complete the lecture. Okay. Now I'm going to start my today's lecture. This is again English language lecture. I'm Mrs. Afshin Imran. This is lecture number 69. Now, the topic which I'm going to discuss today is conditional sentences. You know that it is included in your examination syllabus and mostly or it will come in your MCQ section. That means in section A, you all know that your question paper is divided into 3 sections and section A is MCQ section and there will be 50 MCQs given to you and they will come from literature syllabus as well and from language topics. So you should be very perfect in that so that you will get 50 out of 50 marks. Okay. And you all know that your English paper will be of 100 marks. So be very careful about the MCQs because you should be perfect in that. Now I come to definition first. Conditional sentences are the sentences that express one thing dependent on another. It means conditional sentences are actually the combination of two sentences in which the first sentence expresses one thing and it depends on the other sentence, which depends on the other sentence. It means both the sentences are interdependent on each other. They are so called. Why they are called conditional sentences? They are so called because the impact of the main clause of the sentence is conditional on the dependent clause. There are two clauses. I have told you there is a conditional sentences are the combination of two sentences which are actually the two clauses. Okay. One clause is known as main clause and another clause is known as dependent clause. These are the sentences in which one of the clauses state the condition for the action indicated in the second clause to be performed. It means when there are two clauses in the sentence, then the first clause state the condition which starts with if, okay, and the second clause is depending on that and it is related to the condition, okay. When I'm giving you the examples, you will understand more. Now, some explanation I have written here and you should know about that. Conditional sentences express an imagined situation or condition and the possible result of that situation. Whatever, this is the simple explanation of the conditional sentences, that the first part or the main clause of the sentence, it is expresses an imagined situation. Imagined situation means which is not real situation. Okay, and the second clause, it tells us about the possible result of that situation. These conditional sentences consist of a main independent clause. Main clause is independent because it is giving the condition, and the second a conditional dependent clause which is depending upon the main clause. They express that the action in the main clause can only take place if a certain condition in the dependent clause is fulfilled. Now, if in the dependent clause, which is the conditional clause in which the condition has been given, it uh, and the main clause, which is independent, in which the solution or the result has been given, it can only take place depending on the condition. Now, first of all, because I am talking to you about the word clause again and again, so you should know what is a clause first. So, a definition of a clause is that a clause is a part of the sentence that contains a verb. It means a sentence or the complete sentence or the part of the sentence which contains a verb. It means there should be a main verb in a clause. The explanation is there. A clause consists of a subject and a verb with any object and other modifiers. It means the clause is actually a sentence containing a subject and a verb. It means that if subject and a verb is present, it means it is a clause. But it can be added with any object and some other modifiers, or you can say some other part of the sentences must be there. Now we come to modal verb. Modal verb is another word which comes to the conditional sentences or which is added in the conditional sentences in one of the clause. So we must discuss what is a modal verb. The definition is here. A modal verb is an auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb means helping verb that expresses necessity or possibility. It means a modal verb is only that auxiliary verb which expresses the necessity or the possibility of some words. Okay, remember that. Now some examples are here. Would, could, might. You know that these are actually auxiliary verbs, or simply you can say that helping verbs. But these are some of the auxiliary verbs which are showing the necessity or possibility of certain actions. And because of that, these are called modal verbs. Should is also included in the modal verb, but we are not using should in conditional sentences most of the time. Now I want to discuss about the types of conditional sentences. There are many types of conditional sentences. You all know that that conditional sentences means which includes two clauses. two clauses. One is the dependent clause and the other is the independent clause. So mostly we are discussing here the second conditional sentences because only second conditional sentences are included in your syllabus. But you should know that how many kinds of conditional sentences are there. Actually, there are four types of conditional sentences. Okay, zero conditional sentences, first conditional sentences, second conditional sentences, and third conditional sentences. We are discussing only second conditional sentences in detail, but you should know that these are four in number: zero, first, second, and third. Now we were discussing second conditional sentences. I have told you that there are four types of conditional sentences: zero conditional sentences, first conditional sentences, second conditional sentences, and third conditional sentences. Now we are discussing type 2 second conditional sentences. Now there is another name of these conditional sentences, like zero conditional sentences is also known as type 0 conditional sentences. First conditional sentences are also known as type 1 conditional sentences. Second conditional sentences are also known as type 2 conditional sentences, and third conditional sentences are also known as type 3 conditional sentences. So you should be not misunderstand them. This is the similar thing, that second conditional sentences or type 2 conditional sentences. Type 2 or second conditional sentences refer to an unlikely or hypothetical condition. Unlikely or hypothetical means unreal or imaginary condition. And it's probable means possible result. It means type 2 conditional sentences are consisting of two clauses in which the one clause is dependent and the other is independent. So one of the clause gives the unreal or imaginary condition, and the second clause gives the possible result. Now, first of all, I want to show you the structure of second conditional sentences. It is the little bit difficult, or you can say lengthy structure. So you should remember that and please learn it. Now, you know that the conditional clause, it is given here in the first part, and it always starts with the if plus subject plus verb. There are two options for the verb here: past indefinite tense or past continuous tense. I hope you all know tenses very well, so you should be able to understand which verb is used for past indefinite tense. That is second form of verb, and for past continuous tense, helping verb plus fourth form of verb. Helping verb must be was or were here, plus object plus comma. Now you can see that this is the first part of the, or first clause of the sentence ends here, and comma is here as a separator, and then the second part or second clause sentence is here. Subject plus modal verb, would or would not we can write, could or could not we can write, might or might not we can write. It depends upon the situation. Plus verb, first form, it means when we are using here another main verb, it must be different from the verb which is given in the first clause. Plus object. Now remember, two clauses are here. It means two subjects are here, two verbs are here, two objects are here. So you should be very much careful by making the sentences when you are doing conditional sentences. So we have modal verb here. We have three options for the modal verb: would, would not, would for affirmative sentence, would not for negative ones. Similarly, other modal verbs: would for affirmative sentences or the sentences which give the positive meaning, and could not is used for the negative sentences or the sentences which give the negative meaning. And might is also used as a modal verb, might for affirmative one and might not for negative one. Now there are some rules which should be followed in conditional sentences. Okay, you should be very much careful when you are doing the conditional sentences. Some rules are there. The verb in the clause with if is in the simple past tense or past continuous tense, which I have already told you when we were discussing the structure, that the if clause has got the verb which has two options, which can be given. This is the main verb. Remember, it can be given in simple past tense or past continuous tense. That means past indefinite tense or past continuous tense. Next, the verb in the clause without if uses the modal would and would not. Now remember that when we are using the verb in the second clause without it, then before that main verb there should be a modal verb. Okay, remember that. Then I have told you there are three options for the modal verb: would, could, and might. Next rule is the if clause can come at the beginning or the end. We can write if clause anywhere wherever we want to, but mostly it comes in the beginning, but it can also be written at the end. The if clause is separated from the main clause by a comma. Okay, main clause and the if clause are two clauses. So when we are writing the two clauses in the whole conditional sentences, we separate them from with the comma. In if clause, sometimes were is used instead of was. Sometimes when we use if clause, we use were in place of was when we are doing the imaginations. Now some examples I want to show you here. When the verb in the if clause is in the simple past tense. Simple past tense means past indefinite tense. When if clause has got the main verb in past indefinite tense form, it means the verb must be of second form. I'm giving you some examples here. If they went to bed, if they drank sufficient water. Drank, it is the second form of verb, which shows that it is the past indefinite tense. If they drank sufficient water, comma, the first clause has been completed here. If clause has been completed, then we are writing the main clause here. They would have a healthy skin. Full stop. You can see that subject is here with a modal verb. With here, have is used as the main verb. If they drank sufficient water is object here. There is the subject. And remember, most of the time or always, the subject for both the clauses remains same. Object can be different, verbs and the modal verbs can be different, but remember, subject of the modal verb and subject of the if clause and subject of the main clause, both are same. Both must be same. Otherwise, the sentence is wrong. If they drank sufficient water, comma, they would have a healthy skin. Full stop. Next sentence is, if you went to bed earlier. Went, second form of verb, that is past continuous tense. To bed earlier, subject is you here. So in the main clause, subject remains same. You would not be so tired. Would not here comes as a modal verb, full stop. So you should remember that subject must be same in both the clauses. Now I have written two examples here in which I have written the if clause at the end part, not in the beginning, so that you can understand more. They would get wet. They would get wet if it rained. Okay, I have told you that sometimes it is possible that subject changes, but most of the time, 99% subject remains same. But here you can see that in this example, subject has been changed. They would get fed if it rained. Here the subject is it. Rain is the second form, which is past indefinite tense, and it. The subject here changes, that is they would get fed. Now, next example in which also I have written the if clause afterwards. So you can see that she would hurt herself, comma, if she fell. Full stop. Fell is the second form which shows the past indefinite tense. So I have written the if clause here at the end, and you can see that the modal verb here is would. I hope you have understood till here. Now this is the most important topic which will be included for your exams. So please be very careful and I need full concentration. Now some examples I'm showing here when the verb in the if clause is in the past continuous tense. Past continuous tense means for the form of verb, present participle form of verb with ing and with the helping verb was or were. So some examples I'm showing you here. I have written the if clause first. If he was watching television, comma, you can see that was watching is here, which is showing it is past continuous tense. Present participle form of verb is here. Fourth form is also, it is also called fourth form of verb, ing form. Was is there as a helping verb. If he. Now, if he was watching television, the lights would be on. Here you can see that subject has been changed. Okay. The lights is the subject here in the main clause. Would be on. Would is the modal verb. Full stop. Now next example is she was working hard. Again you can see that ing form of verb with the helping verb was. If she was working hard, comma, she would not lose her grade. Full stop. You can see that here the subject remains same. She is there in both the clauses with would not as a modal verb. Next two examples I have written here when in which I have written the if clause afterwards or at the end part. I would eat the whole cake, full stop. You can see that I is the subject here and would is the modal verb. Eat is the first form. Remember, after the modal verb, we always use the first form of verb. The verb changes or verb is not similar like the main verb here in the if clause, but it will be written in the first form. Remember that because would is actually the second form of verb, and there is a rule that two second forms cannot come together. So the sentence is I would eat the whole cake, comma, if I was not trying to lose weight. Full stop. Here you can see that I is the subject here, which is same in both the clauses. Now next example, which I want to show you here, in which I have written the if clause afterwards. You would get ill. Use the subject, would is the modal verb, get is the first form of verb, ill is the object, comma, if you were playing in the hot weather, full stop. If clause is here and the subject is same, you in both the cases. Were playing is showing that it is past continuous tense because were is the helping verb with the fourth form of verb ing in the hot weather. Now you can see that subject remains same. If you were playing in the hot weather, you would get ill. I hope you have understood all the explanation and the examples of the clauses. Now, this is the end of today's lecture. Now, this is your time. If you want to ask anything, please ask me. If you want to ask anything about your question paper, about your exam, you are allowed to ask. Now I want to discuss about your examination paper one more time here. Whether your these type of things, your grouping or your group timings will be given on your WhatsApp. Okay, because we don't have the information about that whether you have to come group wise or the whole class has to be come has to come here from tomorrow. But I want to inform you that from tomorrow, yes, that school will be open and you will come here to complete your chemistry practicals. Okay. Now I want to discuss about your examination paper one more time, that it will be of 100 marks. First section, A section is of MCQs, in which 50 MCQs would be given to you, and these MCQs would come from your literature syllabus as well as your language one. So you should be perfect in all the language topics. Then in section B, we would be given short question answers. So please remember that don't write the whole stories. Whatever question has been asked, write to the point answers within 4 or 5 lines, whatever is written in the question. There will be a choice in short question answers for you. Then after that, there will be a question of translation in which you have to translate the small 5 or 4 lines paragraph into English, from English to Urdu. So you should practice for that. We have discussed translation rules in the last week, so I think you should be able to do that. And I have also given some paragraphs to translate into Urdu in the form of assignment. So do the practice from there. Then there will be a third question in your section B, which is a passage. That means it is a comprehension passage. And there will be different questions related to that passage given. Maybe words meaning would be there, fill the blanks, true, false, short question answers. Any other thing would be added here related to the comprehension passage. So please, when you are attempting that passage questions, read the passage very carefully. Then there will be a section C for you, in which your first question is about the descriptive writing or essay. There will be a choice between creative writing and essay writing, and there are, I think, 3 essays would be given and you have to attempt any one of you. So there will be a lot of choices in section C. You can easily do them. So practice for the essay writing as well in your home. Then there will be a last question in your examination paper, which will be of application and letter writing. There will be a choice between the application writing and the letter writing. And I hope you all know the pattern or the format of application writing and the letter writing. We have discussed them in detail in the last week also. So I hope you have understood everything and you should be able to do the essays or to write the essays, applications and letters perfectly. Now I want to inform you one more time that you have to follow the block style pattern for writing the application, letter and essay. It means everything must be written from the margin side. Okay. Now if you want to ask any other thing, please ask me, then I'm waiting for your replies. Or whether you have understood today's lecture or not, please reply here. If you want to ask any other thing, please ask me here. Hurry up. Now I want to discuss the literature syllabus with you, that there are 5 lessons. You should be practice for them a lot and read the lessons very carefully again and again, so that you can not escape any point from the lesson. You should be very careful in reading that again and again the last sermon of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, Shah Abdul Latif Bhittai, the great visionaries, the role of women, and the health problems caused by mosquitoes. These all 5 lessons are very much important, and there is a lot of details given about different things in each of the lessons. So you should read it very carefully, learn all the questions which have been done in your copies in the form of assignments, learn the words meanings which are given, because anything can come in your MCQ section. And there are 2 more topics which are included in your literature syllabus. This is a paraphrasing of a poem and summarizing a poem. So you should be very much careful summarizing. You should know how to do summarizing of the paragraph also. We have done that. And now in paraphrasing and summarizing, there is a difference. So please read that very carefully, and so that you can see the difference. And remember that when we are doing paraphrasing or summarizing, we must have to write the reference. Reference means you have to write the name of the poem as well as name of the poet. And if you know any other thing about the poet, you can write 1 or 2 lines with that. Now, any other thing which you want to ask? Many things are included in your language syllabus as well. You have to practice for all of them. Like we have done translations, we have done tenses, voices, narrations, articles, prepositions, prefix, suffix, adverbs. We have done adjectives. We have done. So you should be very careful, and you should practice all of them again and again in your rough notebooks in your homes. Anything which you want to ask? Be very careful when you are making any sentence or converting any sentence, because punctuation marks are very much necessary when you are writing any sentence. If you forget to write the place the full stop at the end, it means your statement remains incomplete, and there will be your marks deduction. So please be careful in writing the full stop, in writing the question mark, as well as whatever punctuation mark is necessary at that place. Now, anything which you want to ask from any topic which is included in your syllabus? No one is asking. Please reply. Please reply whether you are listening me or not, whether you have understood or not. I'm waiting for your replies. No one is replying. Hurry up. Please reply whether you are listening or not, whether you are understanding or not. Nawal, Nida, Minhal, Dua, Kashif, and Dua K. Please reply. Yes, Nita, you have understood everything. Okay, very nice. Other people, please tell me what about you. Have you understood today's topic and the topics which we have discussed in the last week? Now, please tell me. Now, you should practice for them in your home. I have given you some paragraphs to translate into Urdu in the assignment. So please complete all the assignments. These assignments are for your practice. Anything which you want to ask? Now we have discussed conditional sentences today in our lecture. I hope you have understood everything. There is a net connection problem today, so we have some disturbances in today's lecture. I hope you have understood everything very clearly. If you have got any question, because only 1 minute is left, so please tell me if you want to ask any other thing. Otherwise, I want to stop my lecture here, end my lecture here. No one is wants to ask anything. Okay, now I'm going to stop, end my lecture here. Inshallah, we'll meet afterwards. Allah Hafiz.